Good evening, guys. So after I made my guide on Eliza the other day, I actually ended up learning a couple of things about the character that really made me want to try her out in a couple of online games. Now, I never play this style of character like at all, and so it wasn't a super clean session. A lot of it was messy, but I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of falling in love with this character right now. I had a lot of fun. And I think one of the reasons I had so much fun is just that because this is a completely new kind of character for me, I had so much learning to do, and I actually even really enjoyed the few games that I ended up losing, so it was a great little session. My goal was just to grind through the green ranks and put her in the yellow ranks for now, which usually takes me about an hour on a new character. Took me a little bit longer on Eliza because, you know, I'm not used to the style of input that she needs to do a lot of the time. But I ended up playing this Kazumi first, which was pretty funny. Ended up being a little bit of a Smurf Kazumi. You can tell that he has very few games. He's on a 7-win streak right here, and if you look at the backdash, like right there, you can tell the backdash is really clean. So probably just like me, it's a player who's trying out a new character or something. So we had a little bit of a Smurf off, which is always fun. That's the Moonglide 4. I guess that down 4 after Moonglide 4 on counter hit might actually be guaranteed, which is pretty cool. That didn't spin properly, but I then get the counter hit down 4 right there for the round. It's a great move. Down 4 is just fast enough that it ends up being super useful in my experience so far. If it was a little bit slower, it would basically be Lars's down back 4, which is a very dangerous move. But this is only 20 frames, which I think makes it supremely useful. That I'm trying to look for a crush with the EX version of the quarter circle back 3+4, kind of like I do right here. And that is a very useful EX move. You can even go over some short range highs, and you can crush a lot of stuff and get a good launch. So it's a great move. Next, we're gonna play this Lili guy, and you can already tell just a couple of seconds into the first round here what kind of game it's gonna be. It's one of those Lilis who likes to do a lot of big lows, a lot of 1+2 throws, and I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. You probably end up fighting this style of player all the time as well. And it's usually just an issue of staying calm, watching your opponent, and before long you end up picking up on a couple of patterns, and then you can usually just go around them. But I lose that first round. That's the Moonglide 2, which is your main mix-up for the Moonglide 4, which I did right there. It's a great mix-up. Moonglide is just fast enough that ends up being very useful. But you can see, yeah, how he's just piling on the lows here. And so it's probably just better I decide to not give him a lot of room to breathe. There you can see Eliza's wall combo. It has really fantastic damage when you're able to get it like that. It's really, really cool, and it's so much fun to perform. When you actually get it in a game, it's a lot of fun to do. It's one of my favorite wall combos. I was down for 2-3. Her main whiff punishing tool has great range, much better range than I thought actually. It's a supremely good whiff punishing tool. And you can tell how much mileage I'm getting out of down for 1-4 for a poke string here. Very useful with Eliza. You just got to be careful about getting the second hit ducked, which can happen if you're playing against somebody who's very, very fast. And you can see all this side walking here. I'm just waiting for him to cartwheel so I can get a quick whiff punch and just end the game. But here I counter hit the snake edge, carry towards the wall, and you can see that was super sloppy. I obviously should have followed up with a proper wall combo, but it's just I'm very new to the character. But here's a pretty good example of how to use EXDP. I don't think Eliza's very good when she's being pressured against the wall, but that's one way you can get out when your opponent is being aggressive. You can EXDP and you can find a way out. So here I get my promotion match for the Demon Bear rank. Is it called Vanguard in English? I forget, I think it's called Vanguard. I play as Paul. A very death fisty Paul, but you should never you know, underestimate your opponent when you're playing against Paul, because if you just mess up and eat some unnecessary death fists, that is enough damage to take a whole round if he hits twice, so just trying to keep my distance, you know, play very safe. That's dive kick 4 into 1+2 throw. It's a very good setup with Eliza, because if you do it fast enough, that is actually uninterruptible, and they have to break the 1+2 throw. And I don't think I've seen that happen once in like my first 50 games on the character. So it's a very good setup. And that's a good example of how to use the EX Cortical Back 3+4 at the beginning of the round. It beats out a lot of options, and if your opponent starts out with aggression, you can get a launch. And between that and down 4, I think Eliza is actually very good in terms of opening the round. She has a lot of good options. That was a nice little perfect with a Moonglide combo. So we're looking pretty good for the promotion here. Moonglide 3-4, fantastic move, like I say. And just a 1 jab into the 1+2 throw, so it's a nice little promotion match. And I think next we're gonna play, I think I included the Josie game, yeah. One tip I want to give you when playing against Josie is, like, a lot of the time it's just about her kind of chaining these switch stance mix-ups on you, kind of like Leo does from King K. And if you look at this, it's like, that's a switch stance mix-up, and then she does a switch stance mix-up, and then she tried to do a third one, and then she does a fourth one, and then she does a fifth one. So that's actually 5 switch stance mix-ups in the first 10 seconds of the first round. So a lot of the time I find that Josie, it's just a question of like finding one of the holes in that flow. Usually you can go under a high or maybe sidestep something, and then you're able to switch the momentum back in your favor. And I feel the same way about Leo when he's doing these King K chains on you. And there you can see that the EX move right there will actually launch even airborne opponents, and it will launch grounded opponents as well, so it has some very interesting properties on hit. I absolutely love the move. And there you can see what I'm talking about with having to duck like through the switch stance mix-up when you get the chance. It's very important. And if you're able to do that and sort of mess up your opponent's flow, if you notice the difference in play style on my opponent in the 4th round here. You see in the first round he did 5 mix-ups in the first 10 seconds. Now he's hanging back, he's doing almost no attacks. You can see he's just blocking, and he's kind of looking for whiffs with the butterfly edge, and he's playing very defensively. And it's a good example of an opponent who's kind of lost his steam a little bit. And so it's just a tip I want to give you is, don't let your opponent intimidate you when you play online. Just because you're playing somebody who's like higher rank or you, higher ranked than you or something, doesn't mean that you have to lose. Just do your best, and you'll actually surprise yourself a lot of the time. Tekken is a game where anything can happen. That's another little down 1 there. I love her down jab. It's a great for round ender. So the next game I included here was my promotion match for the warrior rank. I played against Alisa, which was fun. I actually think that Eliza and Alisa are very similar characters in a lot of ways. It's kind of weird, but they share the standing 4 is like exactly the same. The down forward 4 is almost exactly the same. The down forward 1-4 is very similar, and then they both have like stances where they fly in and mix their opponent up. Duck the running 2 there is very important against Elisa. I think that's slightly easier to duck than Claudio's version, because I think it comes out a little bit slower. But you gotta be careful about the mix-up, obviously. The wild running 3, which she has as well. And here you can tell I'm very bad. I haven't found a combo for counter hit standing 4 yet. I have now, I did after the session was over, but right there I did like no damage. But when you get counter hit 4 like that, you can actually get 60 something damage, so it's a huge terrible waste if you don't capitalize. And here I'm just eating the wall pressure, and it's not a position Eliza likes. I do that dive kick 4 into 1+2 throw again, which is very strong with Eliza. A very, very good setup. It also feels great to go in a final round with Eliza when you have 2 bars, because it means you can, like, her meter actually really opens up a lot of fun options for her, so it's a very good advantage to have. And there I catch him with the 4-4-3-4, which might be Eliza's best move. Absolutely love it. And one thing about this power crush I do here is that the Moonglide 4 I did after, that's actually a guaranteed hit after the power crush. Now, I hit my opponent in the air, and so he was able to recover, and that was not guaranteed in that case. I just happened to hit anyway, but that should have been a guaranteed hit if my opponent was standing on the ground, which makes that power crush very good. So that was basically the session. I just decided to include this bonus game at the end because I ended up playing this like low-ranked Jin with a lot of games. I didn't expect anything, and then he just ended up playing really well. Like, look at this combo right here, like the re-wall splat and everything. He played really clean, and so I really enjoyed it, and it sort of made me happy because I felt like you know, even in the low ranks in the Tekken community, people are just so good. I mean, Tekken players in general, they just work so hard, and this guy really impressed me with his Jin, so I decided to include it as a bit of a bonus game at the end here. And you could tell he completely destroyed me in the first round, so I decided to come back strong in the second round. And there you can see again the EX quarter circle back 3+4 at the beginning of the round is just such a strong option. It beats a lot of stuff. Again, I don't combo properly right there. If I had done a proper wall combo, that would have been the round. Instead, I press buttons for no reason, get counter hit. I don't know if that rage art usually hits there. I'd be interested to know if he just did it too slow or if it was a missed input. But you can see I get the counter hit here at the beginning of the round, and so I'm feeling really confident. But look at this comeback that my opponent pulls out of nowhere here. It was really cool. Like here I'm like super sure I'm just going to be able to take the win, and he just brings this all the way back in like 5 seconds. So yeah, his I really liked him. I feel like if this guy just keeps playing, he's going to be great. And here I definitely thought he was going to hell sweep, but he went for the mid instead, and I just completely ate it. But yeah, this is going to be the final round for this first little session on Eliza. Like you can see, a lot of like sloppy movement and mistakes from my part, but I had more fun than I've had online in a long time. I absolutely love the character, and I'm gonna keep trying to get better with her, incorporating more DPs and, you know, a lot of stuff I need to learn about her, but I'm gonna play her a lot more in the near future. So hopefully you enjoy the session, hopefully you learned something, but thank you so much for now, and I'll see you guys again very soon.